The coronavirus outbreak spreads like wildfire, with millions of cases reported worldwide claiming thousands of deaths. The toll has been so enormous that many countries worldwide have ordered a lockdown to help the spread of the coronavirus, resulting in significant economic fallout. However, there are two sides to a coin, positive and negative. Today, we are here to discuss the positive aspect of the crisis. I am Dany and I will cover the lifestyle aspect. The pandemic has altered our lifestyle due to the restriction that has been enforced to minimize our movement and the spread of the virus. However, there is high for every low, and even this current scenario has a silver lining to it. Firstly, we have indeed increased our hygiene practice. Hygiene is no longer just a healthy lifestyle, it is also a must to avoid contacting COVID-19. We need to constantly keep ourselves clean, such as washing our hands regularly with soap and water or sanitizer after touching or handling objects in public places, as they may contain the virus. It is also mandatory to wear a face mask when we are outdoor or when there are people nearby. We need to keep a social distance for at least a meter apart. Next, we have better health awareness to increase our immune system against the virus by getting through sleep, eating proper nutritious food, and exercising regularly. This will help the frontliner reduce their overwork load by reducing the risk of getting COVID-19. Next, we also have built genuine relationship with relatives and family. During the movement restriction order, most parents work from home while their children study online away from school. They can have more quality time together at home and foster a closer relationship with families and relatives. People who are in the quarantine may stay physically distant, but they can be socially connected to others electronically. Lastly, we can see some innovation that people have come up with during the pandemic. The quarantine has people coming up with ideas, hacks, tips and tricks to make lives and work easier for people from all walks of life, such as cooking technique, DIY and decorating ideas. Company worldwide has have start thinking about coming up with products and service range that enables you to be as connected as you are with your teams and your loved one, such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Teamlink. With bad comes the good, and some of these will become the norm and will have a long-term benefits. The message here seems to be too simple, but perhaps we shouldn't make things complicated. Instead, we should learn to embrace the change, to do things differently, to connect virtually, to remember and appreciate the forgotten pleasure of life. Then we will define a better lifestyle model that is more effective for achieving our life goals.
COVID 19 has completely hijacked the rhythm of our daily life, hit the global economy, and forced the countries to shut their borders, besides taking a huge toll on public health. However, nature seems to have hit the reset button, reclaiming the spaces to heal itself as the anthropogenic activities have slowed down. Amidst all the gloom and doom that the COVID 19 pandemic is giving, there seems to be a proverbial silver lining and some positive consequences as well. Firstly, this global crisis has been associated with significant reduction in air pollution and greenhouse gas emission. Air quality levels in world major cities improved dramatically in March and April. This is largely because of reduction in factory and road traffic emission, which largely composes of carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and particulate matter. Data released by NASA shows pollution in some of the epicenters nation of COVID-19 such as Wuhan, USA, Spain and Italy has decreased by up to 30%. There's also huge improvement in water quality due to huge reduction of tourist number and sewage discharges into the canal. There has been reportedly been a sharp uptick in the clarity of the water due to emptied of the usual array of motorboat taxis, transport and tourist boats which clog the canal. This is proven by the sightings of exotic animals such as dugong and dolphin at Venice Canal. Besides, animals has been reclaiming the empty streets and without us, humans, in the way nature is thriving. The emergence of wild animals in urban areas is mostly because there is peace and calm, which attracts these animals to the residential area. From a herd of goats taking over a Welsh seaside town to deer in Japanese city roaming the roads in hunt of food, the shift in wildlife behavior has ranged between the beautiful and downright bizarre. The COVID-19 pandemic is wreaking havoc in countries around the world. But the outbreak is also having an intriguing impact on Earth's environment. Perhaps COVID-19 is a vaccine that heals our Mother Earth. We have to start to change in the sort of structural change that we need to get on a different track and start moving towards net zero emission.
Mother Nature hit the reset button, as what Jaga said, the previous speaker mentioned, without the slightest of doubt. It damaged massively on the tourism sector since none could come. 2 or more years worth of restoration must be put to use carefully. Thus, ready your inks and pens. A new chapter will begin for tourism for those who haste. In the span of time COVID-19 steals our financial income, a wise man could see that time and space is given. A smart move will be to improve existing infrastructure, whether adding more buildings, more rides, or simply renovating or fixing what had been built. Other than that, researching new exciting features or events will absolutely help, and implementing more exciting entertainment that will be a catch before the surge of tourists once the curtains are unveiled. This is a wise setup. For every tourist agencies, an advertisement can be made prior and earlier before COVID-19 unveiled. Age of booming may not be very long, because once the world aging starts, air and water pollutions will occupy the space of greeneries. The restored Mother Nature will be threatened once again, but with proper measures, proper policies will aid in ensuring Mother Nature to thrive in this era. The airlines and especially tourist operators should adopt green and eco-friendly practices in their businesses to improve environmental sustainability, while regulatory bodies may encourage renewable energy and also green projects by providing subsidies and tax exemptions to corporations that adopt eco-friendly practices. A thorough policy must be made so we can enjoy what Mother Nature could serve us. I personally believe that this pandemic will eventually end. I believe that we will be able to meet up like normal as we used to, but the virus COVID-19 will still remain lingering in the air we breathe. COVID-19 taught us one thing for sure: hygiene is very important. From a person who simply rarely preserves his or her hygiene will not ensure hygiene is always at its top notch. By simply adopting and readjusting the current COVID-19 procedures based on the upcoming given situation, it will serve as a preventive measure not only toward COVID-19 but also other diseases. So stop sleeping, boys. Wake up, open your eyes, see the light at the end of the tunnel. A proper falls need a proper rise. Tourism may achieve brilliance post-pandemic, though suffer a huge downfall. Other sectors might experience the same, but some emerge and reach its golden era. I think e-commerce will definitely flourish in COVID-19. Am I wrong?
As mentioned by Irfaan just now, amid the economic gloom, there is a silver lining. E-commerce has emerged as one of the biggest beneficiaries of globe-wide lockdown that have been imposed since last year. The retail landscape has deeply changed last year, mainly due to movement restriction measures aimed to protect public health and growing customer preference to avoid physical store. There are several advantages of e-commerce for business. The first advantage is easy access to market. Online marketplaces such as Shopee and Lazada allow anyone to set up a simple online shop and sell product within minutes. The second advantage is the potential of rapid growth. It is very simple to grow an online shop. The preparation should be made is more inventory, a few digital tweaks, and possibly more storage spaces. The third advantage of e-commerce is a wider customer base. Going online made geographical boundaries become inconsequential. The product could be sold to the online shoppers across the country or even across the globe. Of course, e-commerce isn't perfect. It's all online, which means that it is exposed to additional risk to both sellers and buyers. The first challenge of e-commerce is security and fraud. The reputation business could fatally damage if there is no investment in latest security system to protect the website and transaction processes. The second challenge is in legal issue. Business people need to be aware of and plan to cope with additional customer rights which are attached to online sales. Despite the challenges of e-commerce, the Malaysian government has allocated 300 million ringgit to provide micro entrepreneurs with training. It includes the digitalization of their business as well as onboarding to e-commerce platform. This effort is to show government's continued support for businesses in generating income through online platform as it is proved to have much more potential and advantages amid this pandemic. In conclusion, surely we can say COVID-19 has changed the way we used to live our life. We cannot work and study like we used to do, and our social life is restricted even with our loved one. However, we must remember that there is always a rainbow after the rain, and with every difficulty, there will be a solution. That's all from us. Thank you.